Good day, esteemed panelists, our research advisors, faculty members, and fellow researchers. It is with a great an honor and academic responsibility that we present our study entitled Examining the Influence of Peer Support and Compassion Fatigue Among Student Nurses. To meaningfully appreciate the significance of our study, it is essential to first understand the evolving realities of nursing educations and the emotional landscape in which student nurses are being trained. Contemporary nursing education has become increasingly demanding, requiring student nurses to balance rigorous academic expectations with emotionally intense clinical exposure. They are not only expected to master theoretical knowledge and technical skills, but also to demonstrate empathy, composure, and professional accountability in real healthcare settings. Unlike other academic disciplines, nursing education immerses students early into environments marked by pain, trauma, critical illness, and sometimes even death. While still in training, student nurses are already confronted with human realities of suffering. This prolonged and repeated exposure places them at risk of developing compassion fatigue, often referred as the cost of caring. According to Yin et al. 2024, sustained exposure to patient distress it significantly contributes to compassion fatigue, which negatively affects emotional well-being, academic performance, and clinical effectiveness. When emotional exhaustion accumulates, it does not simply impact academic outcomes. It can influence clinical judgment, empathy, and the overall quality of care delivered. So, how does we safeguard the emotional well-being of those who are being prepared to care for others? One potential protective factor is peer support. However, research present inconsistencies. Smith and Young 2023 reported that while peers not consistently reduce compassion fatigue levels. These mixed findings suggest that informal or unstructured peer interactions may not be sufficient. Additionally, individual differences in resilience and coping styles may influence how support is perceived and utilized. These contraindications highlight a significant gap in the literature. While compassion fatigue among student nurses is increasingly acknowledged and peer support is widely encouraged, the direct relationship between these variables remains insufficiently clarified. Therefore, this study aims to examine the relationship between peer support and compassion fatigue among student nurses by assessing their levels of perceived peer support and compassion fatigue. So this study aspires not only to contribute the academic discourse, but also to generate empirical evidence that may guide structured peer support strategies with nursing education. Ultimately, the strengthening peer support system may help resilience, the protecting emotional well-being, and sustain compassion in future nurses. Next slide.
Mm,
So anchor our study within established scholarship and theoretical foundations, we now turn to the existing body of literature that examines peer support and compassion fatigue. So the first is the peer support. Research across caregiving professional identities social support as a protective factor against stress, burnout, and secondary traumatic stress. Lee et al. 2023 found that the social support reduced compassion fatigue among nursing and midwifery interns, with resilience acting as a mediator, greater social support, increased resilience, lower compassion fatigue. However, many studies define social support broadly family, mentors, instructor, friends, and really isolate peer support among fellow nursing students. These distinctions matter because peer share similar clinical exposure, academic pressure, and emotional demands, potentially making their support uniquely validating. So recent predictive models 2025 highlight peer support, empathy, satisfactions, and resilience as key factors influencing in compassion fatigue. Similarly, Aposaga, Estacio, and Reyes 2025 found that university peer networks improve the emotional support, belongingness, and collaborations and stress management. Despite promising findings, direct research linking peer support, specifically to compassion fatigue among student nurses, remain limited. So now, the compassion fatigue is refers to emotional and psychological exhaustions from prolonged exposure to others' sufferings. It includes the burnouts, the secondary traumatic stress. Nursing students are particularly vulnerable due to limited experience and developing coping skills. Studies by Yi et al. 2024, Zhong et al. 2025, Evely at 2023, Amante et al. 2025 show that the compassion fatigue is may lead to poor mental health, reduced quality, weak professional identity, and higher intentional to leave the profession. So the risk factors include heavy workload, low instinct motivations, and emotional over-identifications and insufficient support. Overall, compassion fatigue is a significant risk for student nurses, and peer support may serve as an important yet unexplored protective factor. Next slide. So, in light of these empirical findings and identify the gaps in the literature, we were guided to formulate the following research problem. The primary purpose of this study is to determine the relationship between peer support and compassion fatigue among student nurses. Specifically, this study seeks to answer the following questions. What is the level of peer support among student nurses in terms of academic support, clinical support, emotional support, social support, and psychological resilience? And what is the level of compassion fatigue among student nurses in terms of psychological fatigue or burnouts and secondary traumatic stress? Is there a significant relationship between peer support and compassion fatigue among student nurses? By addressing these questions, this study aims to contribute to a deeper understanding of how peer dynamics influence emotional sustainability among student nurses. Hannah Evasitas will discuss the next topic.
Our study aims to determine the relationship between peer support and compassion fatigue, guided by Jane Watson's theory of human caring. It examines how peer support influences compassion fatigue during academic and clinical training. The findings may guide the development of peer support and mental health interventions in nursing education. Next po. As for the hypothesis, there is no significant relationship between peer support and compassion fatigue among student nurses. Next. Our study is anchored on Gene Watson's theory of human caring and Cohen and Will's social support theory. So Watson's theory, it explains that continuous caring and emotional engagement without adequate care may lead to compassion fatigue. As for Cohen and Will's theory, they explain that peer support reduces stress by buffering its negative effects. So, together, these two theories explain how peer support can influence compassion fatigue among student nurses. Moving on to Elaine Laxina.
This research consists of two variables, which is peer support for independent, then compassion fatigue for dependent variable. Peer support is a person you can rely on everything, emotionally, physically, and psychological support, while compassion fatigue is the outcome of the compassion that the nursing student give to their patient, which is emotional, psychological, and physiological support. Next. This research used the quantitative correlation research design to allow the researcher to describe the relationship level of two variables without manipulating any variable. This study collects data through numerical form and analyzing statistically. And now, Arabelle will discuss the next topic.
Our study was conducted at one private school, College of Nursing in Nueva Ecija. We chose this institution because nursing students are exposed to both academic pressure and clinical duties, making it suitable for studying peer support and compassion fatigue. The total population consisted of 2,000 second to fourth year nursing students. First year students were excluded due to lack of clinical exposure. To, de- to determine the To determine the appropriate sample size, we use Cochrane formula using a 95% confidence level, 0.05 margin of error, and zero point 0.5 assumed population proportion. The initial computed sample size was 384 respondents. However, since our population is finite, we applied the finite population correction formula. After the adjustment, the final sample size became 322 respondents. This means that 322 students are enough to statistically represent the total population of 2,000 nursing students while maintaining reliability and accuracy of the results. For the sampling technique, we use stratified random sampling. The population was divided into three strata based on year level, second, third, and fourth year. We then applied proportional allocation to determine how many respondents should come from each group. The final distribution was 106 from second year, 139 from third year, and 77 from fourth year. This method ensured equal representation from each year level. We chose stratified sampling because nursing students at different levels experience different degrees of academic workload and clinical exposure. By proportionally selecting respondents from each level, we minimized bias and ensured a more balanced and accurate representation of the population. Next part will be discussed by Princess.
So, the research instrument is the tool used to collect data from the participant. In this study, the researchers use a self-developed structured questionnaire guided by Figley Compassion Fatigue Self-Test. The questionnaire was designed specifically for nursing students to make sure the question matched their academic and clinical experiences. It contained 15 items divided into three parts: demographic profile, the basic information about the participants; peer support scale measures the emotional, motivational, and practical support from their classmate or their friends; and compassion fatigue scale measures emotional exhaustion, decreased empathy, and secondary traumatic stress. All items use a 4-point Likert scale: 1 strongly disagree, 2 disagree, 3 agree, and 4 strongly agree. There is no neutral option to encourage clear responses, so brief explanation before fully collecting the data is validate a content validation. Experts review the questionnaire to check if the items were clear, relevant, and aligned with the study. Then next is the pilot testing. The questionnaire was tested on small group of nursing. Next po. So, data collection. It is the process of gathering information from the participants. The researchers first secure approval from the school administration and the Dean of College of Nursing from ethics ethics review committee. Participants were informed about the study's purpose, voluntary participation, and their rights to withdraw anytime. And their responses are all confidential. Printed questionnaires were distributed to Level 2, Level 3, and Level 4 nursing students, including both regular and irregular students. Data collection will last 2 weeks. Completed questionnaires were checked for completeness, and incomplete or unclear responses were excluded. Finally, valid data were entered into statistical software for analysis to ensure accuracy, quality, and ethical standard. Next po. Next. Data analysis. Data analysis refers to how the collected information was processed and interpreted. The researcher used SPSS to analyze the data. Descriptive statistics were used to summarize participant information and study variables including frequency percentage, mean, standard deviation, and inferential two main statistical tests were used: the person's correlation and simple linear regression. The person's correlation determines the strength and direction of the relationship between peer support and compassion fatigue. If correlation is negative, higher peer support is associated with lower compassion fatigue. Simple linear regression is a statistical method used to determine if one variable can predict another. In our study, we use it to find out whether peer support can predict compassion fatigue among student nurses. Here, peer support is independent variable as X and compassion fatigue is the dependent variable as Y. So this is the regression formula. In simple terms, Y is compassion fatigue, what we are trying to predict. X is peer support, the predictor. B1 shows how much compassion fatigue changes when peer supports increase. So B1, if B1 is negative, it means higher peer support leads to lower compassion fatigue, meaning peer support is a protective factor. If B1 is a positive, it means higher peer support leads to higher compassion fatigue. Then the p value tells us if the result is statistically significant. If p is lower than 0.05, the relationship is significant. So, in short, simple linear regression is used to determine whether peer support can predict compassion fatigue and whether it can reduce it significantly. The next reporter will be Patrice.
Next slide.
Data Management Plan. It outlines the specific protocols we, the researchers, will follow to handle participant information responsibly. Secure storage. Digital data is password protected while physical copies are kept in locked storage. Access is strictly limited to research team. Privacy and confidentiality. The study follows the Data Privacy Act or the RA 10173. To protect identities, no names are collected and results are only shared in summary form. Data retention disposal, the data has a shelf life of 1 year. After this period, digital files are deleted and paper documents are shredded. Data access. Only authorized people, we, the researchers, our advisors, and the ethics committee can see the raw data. It will not be shared with outside or third parties. Ethical consideration or the ethical rule. We must follow this to make sure that our study is fair, safe, and respectful towards to the people participating in it. Or this is our code of conduct. Informed consent. Before anyone joins the study, they must be told exactly what the research is about and agree to it freely. No one is being forced to join and they can quit anytime. Coded data or confidentiality. The researcher won't use real names. Instead, they use codes or ID numbers. Uh, this This keeps the participants' identities secret so their private information won't leak. Emotional support. Since research can sometimes bring up sensitive topics, we, the researchers, has a plan to provide help if the participant starts to feel upset or stressed during the process. For the neutral data collection, we, the researchers, stay unbiased. We won't pressure participants to answer in a certain way to make them feel like there is right or wrong answer. And lastly, the ethical committee approval. A group of experts or the research ethics committee has already reviewed the entire plan. They will give us a thumbs up as confirming that our study is safe and follows all the official laws and rules. And the last part will be discussed by MJ.
So as we approach the 5-hour presentations, we would like to share something very important about research process po. Last but certainly not the least, we proudly present to you our newly revised questionnaire. Initially, we believe po that our first questionnaire was truly enough. So this newly revised questionnaire po is now more structured, clearer, and more comprehensive. So the part one po is the demographic profile. So these sections po is gathers essential backgrounds information such as age, sex, year level, and clinical exposure. So this detail help us to better understand the context of our respondents and to analyze possible differences and experience. So the part two po is the peer support scale. We expanded and clarified this section to measure peer support across with five important dimension: academic support, the clinical support, emotional support, and social support, and the psychological resilience. Next slide. Next po is the part 3, the compassion fatigue scales. This is to better to measure the compassion fatigue. We clearly divided into two components, the psychological fatigue burnout and the secondary traumatic stress. So through this revision po, our questionnaire has become more aligned with our research objectives and more capable of accurately examining the relationship between the two. So in conclusion po, our studies recognize that students, nurses are not just learners. They are caregivers in training who carry emotional burdens every single day. Compassion fatigue is real, but so is the power of peer support. Kung tama ang sistema, kung ma-structure at international intentional guidance, peer support can become more than casual management. It can become a protective factor against emotional exhaustions. So as a future nurses, we believe that caring should not only be given to patients, it should also be given to one another. Dahil po sa profession na ito, hindi dapat mag-isa ka. Thank you, and we are now ready to answer your questions.
Good morning. Si MJ,
Good
Good
morning
morning po.
MJ ba yung PI?
po,
Ikaw ba yung PI? PI ka ba, MJ?
ma'am.
Okay, sige. Paki-explain nga bakit ito yung napili yung title at saka bakit itong compassion fatigue. Gusto ko si MJ sasagot with his real voice.
So, ma'am, to
Yung
answer
real
your
voice,
questions, why do you... So, ma'am, to answer your question po, Ma'am Lisa, why did you choose this study? Pinili po namin yung title na ito dahil po gusto po namin na pag-aralan yung emotional challenges na mas nai-experience ng student nurses. Lalo na po yung mga nasa second year, third year to fourth year na mas exposed sa clinical duties at mas mabigat yung academic pressure. So as a student nurses, Ma'am Liza, nakakaranas po talaga kami ng stress, ng pagod, ng emotional exhaustions dahil po sa heavy workload, maraming requirements, at palaging exposure sa patients. So po, because of this, possible po na makaranas po ng compassion fatigue yung mga students kahit hindi pa sila licensed or professional nurses. So, napansin din po namin na karamihan po sa mga existing studies ay nakafocus lamang sa professional nurses. Kaya I think kulang pa po yung research about sa compassion fatigue among student nurses. So, kasabay po nito, yung peer support is isa po siya sa pinaka-common at pinaka-accessible na support system po ng nursing students. So kadalasan po yung mga kaklase, yung mga friends naming unang nakakaintindi, sumusuporta sa amin kapag stress or emotionally drained na po kami. So pero kahit po na ganon, is limited pa rin po yung studies na tumitingin kung they have a relationship po ba talaga yung peer support and compassion fatigue among student nurses. So, in this study po ma'am, gusto po naming malaman kung paano po ba nakakatulong yung peer support sa pag-manage po ng compassion fatigue. So, the results of this research po is pwede po siyang makatulong sa nursing school sa pag-develop ng support programs. So, pagpapalakas po ng peer relationships at mas mas maayos po na pag-prepare sa students para sa emotional demands ng nursing profession. So we choose this title po na ito dahil naniniwala po kami, ma'am, na relevant siya, practical, and makakatulong ito sa well-being ng student nurses at sa improvement po ng nursing education. Thank you.
Pwedeng pakilagay dun sa sa SOP, sa statement or problem statement. Paki-share po yung PowerPoint nyo dun sa part ng SOP, problem statement. Yan. Hindi pala nakashare yung mga indicators, Okay, meron naman siguro kayong kopya, dito kasi sa number 1 research question nyo, what is the level of peer support received by the nursing student in terms of academic support? Paano kayong nagsusuportahan pagdating sa academic?
Siguro, Ma'am Mel, sandali lang. Parang napansin ko, iba yung nandito sa atin, iba yung pinipresent nila. Kasi iba din yung copy ko, pati yung statement ng kanilang ng kanilang questionnaire, mukhang different sa atin. Yung pinipresent kanina ni MJ about the traumatic experience, yan sa trauma stress, wala akong copy nun, hindi siya ganun. Kaya I think they have made some changes without prior noticing us. Kasi hindi rin yan ang nakalagay sa statement ko. Iba din. So, yun lang comment ko lang kasi baka nagbago sila, pero hindi yun ang ibinigay ninyo. Kasi iba yung nasa akin din. Hindi ganyan ang nakalagay. Okay?
Siguro ma'am, hindi lang nila nilagay yung mga indicator. Yung title, yung pinaka-question lang yung nilagay nila sa presentation. Pero yung indicators, kagaya ng academic support, hindi na nila nailagay.
Pati yung questionnaires, diba?
Ma'am, yung about po sa questionnaire, may binago po talaga kami doon kasi po nung nakaraan po ay na-approve na po siya. Pero po dahil napansin daw po ni ma'am na parang may kulang pa, ang ginawa na lang po namin, mas in-improve na lang po namin yung questionnaire po namin ngayon. So, yung sa nasa may PPT po namin ngayon, yun po yung ilalagay po namin or yung revise po namin dahil nagkaroon lang po ng emergency late notice po.
Okay lang naman yan, basta
yes po.
tutugma. Basta tutugma.
Actually, nakita ko lang din po, hindi ko na talaga sila na-check dahil nag-aapura na si Ma'am Kate na kunin yung mga kaya hindi ko na na-check. Kaya siguro nag-aapura na rin itong mga bata, kaya hindi na tumutugma yung na-submit nila at saka yung na-prepare nila ngayon. Tanong ko lang dito, yung academic support. Paano kayo nagtutulungan when it comes to academic? Nagkokopyahan, cheating ba? Ganon? Ano ba yun? Paano?
Ma'am, kunyari po, may isang quizzes po or may isang quiz na kaya naman pong pagtulong-tulungan, which is, kunyari po, may reviewer siya, pwede niya po i-share yun sa iba o kaya pwede po group study o kaya naman po ay magtatanungan sila after nila mag-review, ganun po.
Sa clinical, paano kayong nagsusuportahan sa clinical?
Ma'am, pag sa
Ma'am-
clinical po, kunwari po, pag some of us is hindi po alam like yung full procedure, pero meron po sa amin, alam po nila yung mga procedure na yun. So by those students na may alam, by them teaching the ones who don't know, is pwede na po yun nakasupport sa students.
Dito naman under sa level ng compassion fatigue. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng compassion fatigue?
Ma'am, yun po yung nararamdaman ng mga student nurses, karamihan po ngayon, yung pagod po. Yung compassion fatigue po ay yung mga pakikiramay po natin na sa mga pasyente, lalo na yung mga nararamdaman nilang bigat dahil may mahal silang sa buhay na nasa ospital, nare-receive po natin yon na na mas bumibigat, ganun po. So, kunyari po, yung compassion fatigue po, yun po yung nararamdaman ng mga student nurses na nadadala din po nila na habang nasa eskwelahan po, which is academically.
Ma'am, dagdag ko lang
Additional
po.
ko lang, ma'am, yung compassion fatigue po is a state of emotional and psychological and sometimes po physical exhaustions caused by prolonged exposure po to other suffering. So it is composed po of two main components, the burnout and the secondary traumatic stress. So the burnout refers po is to emotional exhaustions due to workload and stress po, and the secondary traumatic stress naman po happens when someone becomes emotionally affected by trauma or suffering of others. So, importante po ito sa student nurses because they are still developing emotional regulation. So, compassion fatigue po is start early. So, it can affect po their academic performance and confidence, empathy, and even for their desire to continue in nursing profession. So that's why addressing po it at the student level is very important.
Yes po. Paano nyo namang i-relate ito kay Jean Watson? Yung iba naman sasagot, bakit si Jean Watson?
Ma'am, si Jean Watson po kasi is ang theory
Ma'am,
niya.
yung kay
Ang theory niya po kasi ay theory of human caring, which is about din po siya sa relationship na sa ibang tao, or ilalagay ko na po sa point of view namin na ang human caring po namin ay sa mga pasyente po namin. Kaya po kami nandito mga nurses, tayo po mga nurses nandito dahil yung care po natin ay pinapaabot po natin sa kanila using clinical management po, lalo na po yung pagbibigay ng mga gamot, yung pag-a-advise po ng mga health education, yan po, yung pagbibigay po natin ng care na ulit-ulit po tayo magbibigay ng vital signs, magre-receive po ng mga doctor's order, mga ganyan po, para po lang maipaabot po natin yung mga kailangan ng mga pasyente.
Tsaka po ma'am, dagdag ko lang din po. Nakaka-relate din po siya kasi po hindi lang naman po yung paulit-ulit nga po na pagbalik sa pasyente. Sobrang nakakapagod na po. Tas marami pa pong ibang kailangang gawin. Hindi lang po mag-BS, magbigay ng gamot, magpakain, maglinis po ng mga example na lang po ng mga pagde-drain nung ihi po doon sa may yun po.
Ma'am, dagdag ko lang.
Tapos
Last
po, in
one.
additional din po, yung kay Watson po, yung sa core po niya is naniniwala po siya na hindi lang po yung medicine yung nakakapag-heal. And it also about the transpersonal caring relationship.
Ma'am, yung kay Jean Watson po, hindi lang po about caring to other people but also to yourself. So dapat balance po yun. Like you have care for others but also to yourself. Because if hindi po sila balance, ayun po, magli-lead po siya to stress which leads to compassion fatigue po.
Dito sa ethical consideration, paki-include na lang ang Nuremberg Code and Belmont Report, no? Para makumpleto yung ethical consideration ninyo.
Ma'am, Nuremberg po.
Nuremberg,
Tapos,
Nuremberg Code and Belmont Report. Ayan,
Belmont.
napag-aralan nyo naman yan sa nursing ethics, di ba? Paggagawa ng research, dapat sinusunod natin yung dalawang code na yan. Tapos, yung inyong survey questionnaire, gawin nyo, tapos ipabalidate nyo sa 3 masters, no? Hindi naman como kami yung panel, sa amin lang kayo magpapabalidate. Pwede nyo ring ipa-check kila Sir Sabas, kay Sir Earl, Ma'am Miriam. Okay? Meron po ba kayong tanong? Kayo, student, may tanong kayo?
Ma'am, wala na po kami questions po.
Sa technical lang, correct yung spacing nyo sa title page.
Ano po yun, ma'am?
Ano po, ma'am?
I-correct yung spacing nyo sa title page. After ng
Elaine,
title.
panood ako.
No, after ng title dun sa name, hindi dapat ganito kalayo, no? And then yung spacing din from the names dun sa College of Nursing. Mag-check kayo dun sa APA 7th edition. Tapos kailangan after nitong Our Lady of Fatima University, may space then research advisor muna bago yung date. From the research advisor, dun lang magkakaroon ng 3-line spacing bago yung date. So, ang may 3-line spacing lang is yung from top to title at saka itong advisor to the date. Tapos, sa subscripts nyo, sa superscripts, number 4 yung advisor. So, 1 yung College of Nursing, 2 yung Research Development and Innovation Center, 3 yung OLFU, then number 4 yung advisor. Tapos sa body, naka 1.25 ba kayo dito sa left? I-double check nyo to. And then wala kayong header and footer.
Yes.
Pakilagyan ng header and footer, no? Tapos yung mga spacing nyo rin after ng paragraph dito sa body, i-check nyo mabuti, no? Yung iba medyo malalayo masyado. Mag-base kayo dun sa APA. Yung header nyo, make sure na 5 words lang from your title and then followed by ellipses. Hindi kasama sa 5 words yung mga conjunctions. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ang ilalagay nyo sa header nyo is hanggang compassion. Examining to compassion, then followed by ellipses. And then, double check din yung mga tenses, ano? Meron naman na ibinigay sa inyo na guide. Tapos yung abstract, after na ng study, no? And then, the table of contents. So yun, pay attention na lang sa mga margins and spacing. Kasi yung sa inyo ang kakaiba. Masyadong malayo yung ano. Saan nyo ba nakuha yung format ng title page nyo. No? Ano na lang po para pag nag-revise kayo, kasama na din yung mga format and margins. Okay, yun lang po
Sige
sa
po, ma'am.
akin.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you po.
May question pa po ba? Ma'am Aja?
Since di namin nakita yung mga changes that you have given, hindi ko na alam ngayon kung alin ang i-state ko, no? Pero just in case, dapat dito yung, like for example dito, nilagay nyo dito yung demographic profile, dapat it should be included and it's stated in your question number 1, if that is the inclusion ng study. Kasi ginamitan nyo dito ng influence, are you telling us now that you are establishing a causality of your study? In your design, okay, ano ba? Are you establishing causality because you have written here the influence of your compassionate, the influence of the peer support?
Ma'am, using po yung sa design po namin, kaya po nagkaroon po kami ng correlational dahil nga po magkadugtong po yung independent and dependent variable namin, which is yung compassion, yung peer support po ay yun po yung binibigay ng patient and binibigay po namin sa patient or yung binibigay
Teka muna, bakit sa patient? Peer support yung sa'yo eh.
Apo, binibigay po namin
Teka
sa
muna,
patient. Tapos po,
clearly stated dapat dito yung definition mo, ha?
okay.
It should be operationally defined, all of the terms that you are using here para maano natin, ano? Kasi kayo naman ang kukwestiyonin dyan sa final defense eh. Kaya dapat i-clearly stated nyo dito kung ano yun. Dapat din alam ninyo kung ano talaga yung inyong gustong ipakita dito sa amin. Dahil, yun nga, hindi ko na alam kung alin ang magkakatugma dito dahil may mga pinago na kayo para bago nyo i-subject yung inyong mga questionnaires, yung mga ganun ninyong study para magkakatugma. No? Kasi kayo din, sa inyo yan, sa final defense, sa inyo babalik yan eh. Ang kailangan yung content makita natin kung tumutugma ba siya dun sa mga sinasabi nyo. Hindi po pwedeng, hindi siya, hindi ko na alam yan kung tutugma pa itatanong ko kasi nga, yun. Kasi magkaiba na tayo. Okay? Magkaiba na kasi pinakita nyo sa amin dito. So, hindi ko na alam kung alin na ba yung talagang tama. Hindi ko kaya ko nga tinatanong sa inyo, dahil influence ang ginamit nyo, meron ba yung gusto natin kasing i-determine kung meron ba kayong in-establish na causality on this study. So, hindi ko na alam kung alin ba dito yung gusto nyo ipakita sa design na ginamit nyo. Although, dun sa design ninyo, sabi niya naman correlational, kaya lang sa title mo, influence ang ginamit mo. Pag sinabi nating influence, sinasabi mo sa amin na mayroong impact, may effect, may ano siya. So dapat, ang gagamitin mo dito, ang study mo, dapat, ano siya, ano yan? Sa design mo, dapat ang gagamitin mo siya, experimental. Kasi, ang gusto nating malaman, ano ba talaga yung effect na sinasabi mo or yung impact. Since correlational ang ginamit mo, gusto lang natin ma-determine yung relationship. So, which is which now? Gusto mo lang bang malaman yung extent ng peer support? Kasi pag impact yan, dapat may study ka na ang study mo ay lumalabas na experimental siya. meron kang gagamitin na meron kang grupo, no? Meron kang control group, i-manipulate mo yung ma-manipulate mo yung iyong mga variables, may random assignment ka. Since walang ganito ito,
Ma'am,
so dapat
yung sa may amin po, hindi po namin i-manipulate yung mga answers na o yung
yes.
po.
Pero ang ginamit mo sa title mo is influence. When you use the word influence, impact, effect, ibig sabihin yan, meron kang i-manipulate doon. Kaya, ano ba gusto nyo lang? Gamitan lang natin ng the extent of peer support.
Kasi sila correlational kayo eh. Pero yung title nyo kasi influence. Kasi double-headed arrow din kayo sa simulacrum. Ibig sabihin correlational
Ma'am,
nga.
ano na
Pero
lang,
yung title ninyo, influence. So, dapat, correlational dapat yung title ninyo. Examining the relationship.
Gusto mo, gamitan mo lang siya ng extent instead na
na lang po.
Oo. Kasi pag sinabi natin kasi doon, babaguhin mo yung ano mo eh. Kung ayaw nyo namang i-depensa, go natin. Pero as far as I am concerned as one of the panelists, parang baka doon ka matira eh. Bakit mo sinabi? Pero dito sa ginamit mo, correlational.
Ma'am, bali po yung magiging title po namin is examining the extent of peer support on compassion fatigue among students.
Yeah, sa akin suggestion lang yan ha. Baka at the end dyan, sinabi ni naman po ni Ma'am Adjarani, palitan daw po namin. Kasi ina-align ko lang kayo. Ina-align ko kayo doon sa sinasabi nyo. Kasi ngayon, magkakaiba na tayo ng Ngayon, tingnan ninyo kung kaya nyo siyang i-depensa, go for it. You don't need to change. Pero dahil kami siguro medyo may alam ng konti sa inyo, kaya namin sinasuggest. Ako personally, kaya ako yung sinasuggest. So, you may take it or you may leave it.
Mag-debate na lang po kami, Doc, sa po.
Basta yun sa amin, mga suggestions lang. Yun yung tatandaan ninyo. Yun nga, kaya nga madalas ayaw namin na mag-advisor, Kasi at the end, kami yung biniblame niya, no? Pero we wanted to align you. Kapag tinanggap nyo yung mga suggestions namin, the first thing that you should do is not to blame us. Never tell or drop our names na, yun po kasi sinabi ni Ma'am, kaya po ginawa namin. Dati po kasi, lumalabas pa ngayon kasalanan namin. That's why I am telling you now na pag ang study ay experimental, lahat ng variables mo yan, gagamitin mo yan. Meron kang dito, meron ka dapat yung random assignment, may control group ka, kasi gagamitan mo ng yung what makes that effect. Ano yung effect nito dun sa natin, sa study mo. Descriptive correlational yung ginamit mo. So, ang gusto mo lang ma-determine ngayon ay yung relationship and difference. So, ngayon, kailangan yung title mo din dapat hindi magsasabi ng effect. Otherwise, magkakamali ka na sa iyong design. Okay ba yun? So, nasa sa inyo ngayon yun. So, yun sa akin, suggestion yun. But if you still can stand on it, then go for it. Okay? Tapos, pakita niya rin sa advisor nyo yung regarding sa changes para makasuggest siya, makapagsabi siya sa inyo na, teka muna, kailangan bago nyo i-submit, makita ko muna lahat ng content. Kasi, huwag nyo muna i-finalize sa defense na isasubmit nyo na hindi niya nakita yung kasi baka hindi nga magkakatugma. Okay, so yun, so far yun lang.
May question pa kayo? Mga guys?
Wala na po, Ma'am Liza.
So, anong next na move nyo after this? Anong next move?
Aayusin na lang po namin, Ma'am, yung mga suggestions po ni Ma'am Lisa and ni Doc and yung sinasabi po ninyo.
Tapos, anong next?
Magpapacheck na po kami ulit after po naming maayos lahat ng dapat ayusin para po sa ganun, before po mag-final is okay na po lahat ulit.
Magpa-validate kayo ng question, ano? So, tapos gagawa na
Yes.
kayo ng requisition for RDIC. Ano, titingnan ako kung
Yes,
nasan
ma'am.
yung mga format ng requisition letter na yan para mai-move na natin sa taas kasi nandito pa lang tayo sa level ng College of Nursing no. So pagka natapos tayo sa level ng nursing department, aakyat na tayo sa RDIC, sa office naman ni Sir Phil. Pag na-validate niya yung questionnaire ninyo,
Yes.
saka pa lang kayo mag-i-start na mag-distribute. Okay? So ready na kayo dyan. So yan ang first activity nyo sa first week ng midterm. Okay?
Yes po,
So kung
Ma'am.
wala nang tanong, okay. Pa-close na po yung yung inyong PowerPoint. Okay, thank you so much po. You may now leave. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you po,
Ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you po.
Lisa.